What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the first inaugural Non-Fungible Tuesdays. Today, we're going to be talking about the current state of the markets, diving in deep and showing you that the ultra-rich are buying Bitcoin and cryptocurrency throughout this crash. Now, we're going to talk about the Rothschilds expanding their 300% growth on Bitcoin allocation since April, since the crash. And we're also going to talk about the state of the markets. And I can already see the comments coming in because, to be honest, the comments section has been a bit crazy lately. I get it. People are upset about the prices going down. However, look, there's such a thing as a nuanced opinion. I can believe that the market's still going down and also talk about whales buying. The two can be true, and it doesn't mean that one reverses the other. I can also believe that there's a crash coming and also believe that good opportunities are coming at the same time. Yes, they can both be the case. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about where I see the markets going, where we are right now, and why I think this is such an important and interesting moment for crypto. And then, of course, we're going to get to the main meat of the daily content, which is the first complete exploration and head first dive into non-fungible token land. And then at the end of the episode, we're going to be giving away some non-fungible tokens to people watching live. And it's going to be thousands of dollars worth of JPEGs. Yes, you heard me right. And again, I just want to kind of help people get a taste of this because it is super risky and the current state of NFTs are in crazy price discovery territory. I'm not saying in any way that something is worth X or undervalued or overvalued. I'm just covering a trend because it has been profitable, and it's also interesting to see network growth coming out of this trend and different communities forming. So that's what I find fascinating about that. But I wanted to dive in here and talk first about the markets. We are currently under 30,000, which has been a huge psychological level, and hovering here in the $29,000 is very, very, very uncomfortable. It's super, super uncomfortable, and it's super, super bad because it really does feel like we're about to hop off a cliff here, especially with the macro sort of general investment landscape not looking so hot. Lots of fears of another lockdown. I know here in Los Angeles, the COVID cases are exponentially expanding, and it's a very scary time. People are wondering where this is all going. And so I put out a video saying, hey, look, this could be leading to another March 2020 moment. And if it is, that could be the best buying opportunity that we get because a lot of people missed that March 2020 opportunity. A lot of people didn't realize it would be the bottom of an up-only, forever, never-ending green candle bull run. And so, the fact that we might be looking at this again is very interesting, especially if you like taking counter-cyclical bets. Now, what I do want to say is I saw some comments on yesterday's videos of people thinking I'm purposely trying to FUD the market down. And I just can't really express how little influence this channel has when it comes to actually affecting the Bitcoin market. I mean, the Bitcoin market traded today $22 billion worth of volume. And if you guys think I have several billions of dollars that I can just dump the market down whenever I want, then I hate to break this to you, but I am not that successful yet. So I can't really affect the Bitcoin price. I could scream and cry about it. But if I wanted the Bitcoin price to go in any direction, it would be up, never ending up. So definitely some crazy comments yesterday on the video. I just wanted to address that. No, I can't single-handedly dump the Bitcoin markets. Now, I also wanted to address the fact that I've never called the bottom. As soon as I said that there would be a bear market, I also said, who knows how long this could go on, and this could go on all the way till February, and we could go all the way down to 10K if that's the 85% retrace. So it's important to understand that as soon as I switched to not expecting us to try to challenge all-time highs again, and I said it was a bear about 6 weeks ago or whatever it was, that's when I switched my tune, and it's really just been wait and see. Lots of stable coins, and then starting a little bit to nibble into ETH because I'm just really an ETH bull, a long-term ETH bull. I'm also looking at some really low entries potentially coming up on coins like Sushi, coins like Aave, the big, obviously, I love Thorchain, the big DeFi coins that I think are going to get way undervalued, hopefully, in the next little bit. If that's what happens, that's where I'm going to be looking to allocate as well. So that's how I see the market, and it's important to realize that, in this time, we have FTX here doing some amazing things, sort of smashing all the records. smashing all the records for crypto funding. So they just raised $900 million at an $18 billion valuation. Of course, we know FTX is the new Binance. They're the new big, extremely powerful and fast-growing exchange with potentially an even more dynamic leader in Sam Bankman-Fried. So huge shout out to FTX. They've been sponsoring sports teams and arenas and all kinds of crazy stuff. So you can see here that this is part of the growth of crypto going mainstream, is when brands get so big that they can actually start taking mainstream sponsorships and really putting this stuff front and center, as we've seen with Crypto.com and the UFC and FTX and the MLB, FTX with the Heat Arena, and those stories will continue to pour in. There's also been some F1 sponsorships. I'm a big F1 guy. But this is the story that really caught my attention, which is the Rothschilds. Ooh, yes, the Illuminati, the Rothschilds, expanding their Bitcoin exposure by 300% since April. That's right. While everyone else is running for the exits, the smart money, the big money, those eternal, everlasting money bags are starting to accumulate the king corn. And that generally means either one of two things is going to happen. Either they see this as being an amazing long-term trend that they want to be a part of, or they just want to control enough of the supply that they can eventually dump on all of us. Either way, what we see here is that big money is going towards these assets as the markets collapse, not away from them. And that's the story as old as time, which is that the retailers rush in when the FOMO is hype, when everything is on the up and up. They buy at all-time highs, and then they run away whenever things go down. Now, I've preached time and time again that the cycles are really all that matters in crypto. And when things are really bullish, then you can make gains pretty easily. When things are bearish, you can lose money really easily. That's why being in stables and waiting for good entries or starting to DCA throughout bearish periods is a key strategy. You can't do that if you spend all your money on the way up, and you can't do that if you refuse to take profits. And I know if you're watching this channel, you've been in countless 10x, 20x's, 30x opportunities. So you just got to get used to taking those profits. Now, this is very, very, very much so the story that I see evolving. And it doesn't mean that we're going to go upwards in price. These types of stories were coming out every single day throughout 2018. This group bought, this wealthy person bought, this billionaire bought, this hedge fund bought. Didn't change the fact that we needed to exhaust the FOMO. We needed to exhaust the bulls essentially and reach a sentiment-based bottom. And that created the ability to spring back up. And so that's what happened in 2018. Now, how long this happens and how long this takes? Well, I believe this will take a very different style of bear market. We've already seen that the bull market and the top was nothing like the previous tops. It had, it stayed at the top for 3 months, whereas the previous bull market, it stayed at the top for 3 seconds. So that was a true sort of blow off top, whereas this year's bull market didn't really have a blow off top. It didn't have any of the signs that the altcoin market or any of the other sort of key indicators we were looking for to really see that the top was in. We couldn't be like, all right, guys, the top's in. Yes, in retrospect, the Dogcoin mania was a sign, and there was other signs, but there wasn't any clear evidence that really matched what happened in 2017, in my opinion, and 2018. And so that's why this bear market is probably not going to be anything like previous bear markets, because the bull market wasn't anything like previous bull markets. That's my personal opinion, which is why just purely saying, hey, here's the cycle, I think is starting to be invalidated the longer this goes on. Now, of course, if we just pick upwards and to the right and go full bull mode here by the end of the year, that would make this look more like the 2013 double bubble sort of fractal. And again, no one's going to be mad if we turn bullish. Never is, right? Because there's always just so much money to be made. But I know you guys are going to take profits this next time. Either way, this is what I'm excited about, because it shows that the big money bags are continually trying to move in as other people turn their back, and that eventually leads to essentially the seller exhaustion, and prices can go up again. Now it's time. It's time now to talk 1400 of you guys. Please, if you could do me a favor as we dive into Non-Fungible Tuesdays, the first Non-Fungible Tuesday, I want you guys to collectively bring your mice together and destroy that like button. Now, let's dive in, because there is so much NFT stuff to cover. And I did want to talk about this. Guys, I got some comments on my video yesterday saying I just switched to NFTs because the other coins I was calling were going down. So I'm just changing it up. Guys, I've been calling NFTs here, saying that the first trend, explosive trend of 2021 that could make you rich, 2021, this is back in December. Obviously, I've been talking, if you know this channel, I've been talking about NFTs and gaming and the future of NFTs since 2018, almost 4 years now. But this was something I put out in December during the rush, during the influx of users, trying to help you guys, tip you guys off. And NFTs have gone absolutely parabolic. I covered it again, talking about the growth of this in mid-December. So it wasn't just when the NFT hype wave came along. And obviously, I've been planning and preparing and building in the background stuff for Superfarm for literally years. So I've been obsessed with NFTs for a long time. So for those who are saying that this is a new trend of mine, it is absolutely the one of the oldest things I've been talking about. Now, the reason why NFTs are interesting, and I want to point this out before I dive in, is this concept of Metcalf's law. Now, what we know about crypto is that as the number go up, as the prices go up, what we see is that more and more people flock into the industry. More and more people want to be a part of crypto because it can make them some money. And as the number goes down and people lose money, well, they run away. And so you have an entire market, almost all the coins, including DeFi coins, that are mostly based on number go up. And as the number goes down, we saw yields dry up. You need to be fairly wealthy to deploy enough money for that yield to even be that exciting. Probably most people who are enjoying DeFi have, a few $1 million in the ecosystem. And so that already narrows the actual audience for DeFi significantly. And to create network growth is pretty slow, even with DeFi. So even with DeFi and all these other projects, Metcalf's law is not really being satisfied. And Metcalf's law speaks to the value of a network, which is that what blockchains and cryptos are networks, communities. And the value of the network is n squared. So essentially, if the value of a network has 10 nodes, then the inherent value is 100, 10 times 10. But how do you get network growth? And how do you expand the value of the network when prices are going down? It's a very, very tricky thing to do. And so what you need to actually have are products or use cases that can be enjoyed or really deliver their full, complete user experience when number is going down. And that is one of the hardest things for most of these projects to do, which is why NFTs coming into the frame is actually really, really interesting. Throw away video games and all that stuff for a minute. I believe that NFTs have applications across many, many products, right? They could be used in all kinds of things, from storing the deed to your house or keys to your car or whatever, all that stuff. But I really think that there is a huge application here for content and for merchandising as it relates to content and for giving people ownership of IP of content. And this is a really big transition of crowd-owned IP versus individual sort of big studio-owned IP. And so the application for NFTs to get people into something fun and something that puts a smile on their face and something that gives them a sense of enjoyment. Well, 99% of people just want to enjoy their days. They just want to have a better day. So if you give them something that makes them smile, makes them feel good, that is utility, that is value, right? And that's not something that you get from DeFi tokens. Like, I've never bought an altcoin or a DeFi token and been like, wow, that was so fun. Looking at my wallet, just like, hey, smiling and looking at my fungible tokens. It's not really like that. It's fun to make money, but it's not like, it's not like riding a roller coaster, right? I mean, that's maybe a bad example. Sometimes crypto is like riding a roller coaster. Anyway, the point is that NFTs can actually help increase network participants because they're fun and they can be woven into very, very simple consumer use cases that doesn't require any connection to mainstream Bitcoin. And that's why I think there's a big thing going on here. Now, I want to be really clear. I want to be absolutely clear. NFTs are in complete price discovery mode. They're very, very experimental, and most likely 99% of them will lose money or could go completely to zero, right? So it's important to realize that I'm not saying to buy anything, and I don't want this segment to lead everyone to just think I'm trying to advertise them NFTs. I'm not. You need to learn about this stuff. You need to figure out your own journey. And for the most part, you should only buy an NFT if you really enjoy what it is, the art, and it makes you happy, and then you can't lose. And it's something that you want to own. However, if you're looking to speculate, like all things, there's tremendous risk and you need to figure out your own way to navigate the game. I'm here to present some information, but you need to figure this out because I'm not going to deal with when inevitably some NFTs go up or down, people come back and say, Elliot, what's the deal? I told you the deal, which is that this stuff is a huge, huge potential opportunity. Many industries will be built on it, and it is extremely speculative and no one knows which direction it goes. But I do think that NFTs have the ability to create Metcalf's law or growth in the network, which grows the value of the network even when Bitcoin's dropping. And that's something that very few coins have the ability to do. So let's dive in and let's talk about what exactly some of these examples are that have led to the modern or the current NFT explosion. Guys, if you guys are excited for this, go ahead, do me a favor, destroy that like button. It really helps bring some extra viewers and some extra attention to this work we're doing here on the channel. And I do believe that learning about NFTs is a really, really interesting thing to be learning about in July of 2021. So let's dive in here. Let's bring up this article that's going over essentially the roots or the history behind CryptoPunks, which is the original, quote unquote, the original NFT. Now, we will talk about, of course, how CryptoPunks, I guess, in theory, aren't the original, that there are other ones that have come first, but it kind of holds the title as the original NFT. So let's talk about the cult of CryptoPunks, and I'm going to help explain like what's going on with CryptoPunks, why they grow to be so big, why they are so popular and so highly valued, and then we're going to talk about some of the things that have sprung up from this and some of the cultural shifts that we're experiencing, as well as some of the newer projects, and then we're going to wrap it up with me doing a giveaway. So it's going to be a really, really fun segment here, and let's first start here and dive in and talk about what's the deal here with CryptoPunks, because by understanding CryptoPunks, you can really start to understand some of the other NFT communities and projects. Now, the cult of CryptoPunks, they say, this is a TechCrunch article saying Ethereum's oldest NFT project might not actually be the first, but it's the wildest. Now, of course, we see, of course, the $69 million Beeple sale. That was a huge, huge deal. But what people weren't really paying as much attention to in early 2021 was a couple 24 by 24 pixel portraits of aliens wearing little hats that sold separately for about $7.5 million. The pixelated alien portraits belong to an NFT platform called CryptoPunks. In the world of NFTs, the platform is as close to ancient history as it gets, meaning it's 4 years old. There are 10,000 punks, all of which are procedurally generated and claimed for free when the project launched in 2017. Now, this was pretty much a sleeping project. There wasn't much going on. There was a small community that knew what was up with punks, but it was not super active. And that all changed a few months ago when this new CryptoPunks explosion took on the scene. Now, it was even a fault of mine because I released the Elio Trades collection, which was inspired by Cyberpunk and then putting some crypto stuff in, and I called it CryptoPunk, and I wasn't paying attention to how explosive the CryptoPunk trend was, full of these NFT OGs. It was a big mistake on my part, and I really didn't even mean to have the overlap in the branding, but it was just something that I thought was so, you know, big apologies to the CryptoPunk community because I think that pissed some of them off. But I really had no intention of it really was completely separate. I was trying to make something that was super cyberpunk. And you can see by the art, there's nothing trying to be CryptoPunks about the Elio Trades collection. And I'm really excited because NFT voting is currently in development, so we'll be able to start having NFT voting for what I cover here on the channel with those NFTs. Really exciting stuff, and it's going to be a first. I believe that it's been on-chain voting with NFTs. It's a really, really cool program. But anyway, I digress. So the point here is that CryptoPunks sprung back to life here in 2021 and became absolute insanity. Today, the cheapest CryptoPunk you can buy will run you about $30,000 in Ethereum. I'll check the floor price for you guys live. I think it's a little less than that now. And the rarest is just shy of 10 million. Well, actually, the rarest was bought by a buddy of mine at auction at Christie's for $12.9 million. It's called the COVID Alien Punk. So that's currently the most valuable because it actually had a mask on it, and people think it predicted essentially the COVID crisis. And so it was a very, very, it's one of the rarest punks, and it also has this sort of crystal ball predicting the future thing. So here's what they look like. They're 8-bit art. You know, you can see them. They have different traits. They could have like a blue bandana here or a spinning top hat. They could have an eye patch, cigarette, right? They could be male or female. They could be an ape or an alien. They have all these traits and they're weighted by rarity. Now, it's important to realize that this didn't start as really a commercial endeavor. All of the original punks were able to be claimed for free. And so this is back in 2017. John Watkinson and Matt Hall, they were playing with this pixel character generator, and they just created these 10,000 characters with different hairstyles. It actually predates the ERC 721 standard. So these are not like your standard NFTs, which is why it's kind of frustrating to trade them. You have to like wrap them to trade them the way that other NFTs are traded. And they said only 20 to 30 punks were claimed in the days following launch. But there was actually this guy named Mr. 703 who claimed 703 at launch. And those 703, as you can imagine, with the cheapest punk being, $20,000 to $30,000, now you're talking about millions and millions of dollars worth of punks that he claimed literally for free. This is the value of being in crypto, by the way, is if you're around these trends and you're following crypto, then you have the opportunity to, for free, sometimes claim airdrops and get involved with things for absolutely $0, zero effort, and zero financial resource that could change your life forever. So this was just an experiment, right? It was just an experiment, but it recently became this explosive subculture where people were all starting to collect these punks because they were such finite supply that they became a digital flex, right? Where people wanted to be in this club of punk owners because it was so hard to get into because there were so few of them. And there was only, 10,000 items and there were thousands of owners. So you only have a few items per owner max. And so what happened here is that it became a bit of a cult, right? Where everyone wanted to be in this club. And you started getting all kinds of people of notoriety like Gary Vaynerchuk and Jay-Z and all these people of high social status that were actually joining this CryptoPunks group, right? So it's not really about the JPEG. It's not even about the art. It's about the group. It's about the community that has formed. And people wanted to be a part of this because they wanted to say, hey, I'm a punk, you're a punk. And then they started using them as their avatars, which we'll get to in just a second here. So what was really interesting here, and I wanted to remind you because people are saying, well, why would you spend a bunch of money on a JPEG? Well, why would you spend $200 on a paperclip from Prada? And why would you spend, what is this, $2,000 on an IKEA bag that they give you for free? It's the same thing, right? People want to be a part of exclusivity. People want to show off their status. People want to be a part of things. And so what we're seeing here is that punks was really the first mover in being a digital asset that people felt very, very lucky to even have one of, right? It really was that scarcity model, right? And this is pretty interesting to see. And so they eventually sold, the creators had several CryptoPunks in their own vault, and they sold them for millions of dollars. Again, they didn't launch this as a very commercial endeavor. So this is one of the first really big paydays that they had gotten off of punks. But this is a huge change in the mindset towards digital assets, which are mostly just, like I said, about number going up, whereas this was more about belonging. This was more about social community. And what we saw was an explosion of people like this, this is Punk 4156, who goes by 4156. He owns the ape, this ape one. And it was actually a very influential, he used to have a tweet pinned here because Beeple did a version of his Punk 4156. But he unpinned that tweet. Anyway, so 4156 and many others started using these punks as their actual avatars and following each other, where it's sort of this unwritten code where all the punks follow all the other punks. They are available to each other. They make themselves available to each other socially, and they allow themselves to actually form this network, kind of like a pseudo fraternity, not gendered, right? It's not just about men, but it's kind of like a gentleman's club or an elitist club, right? Which is funny because they're punks, but it's not very punk, as someone has pointed out, how elitist has gotten. But the reality is that this is a very, very highly esteemed club, and anyone who has a punk is sort of like in. This is your entry ticket. We saw people like, and by the way, 4156, Punk 4156, check them out. Go give them a follow. They're one of the more respected resources that I found in crypto land when it comes to NFTs, and very, very authentic early mover in the punk movement and the NFT movement. So this was a very interesting transition of not just only, buying an asset like this, not just forming a club, but now you're seeing people use these images, because 4156 is a unique image. This is punk number 4156. And so now they're actually saying, well, I own this identity and I'm going to use this as my identity. This is a very, very unique thing to see have happen, right? And this is part of why the excitement around owning this is people actually are starting to do this very commonly. Another person that's done this is someone named Beanie, and his name is Beanie Maxi. Now, Beanie Maxi actually said that he's only investing in NFTs with beanies. I think it was a joke, but like he was really going hard on NFTs with beanies. He owns a lot of punks, and he's also interacts with this as his avatar. And so this is sort of showing you that not only do you have the tribe of the punks, but you had the sub-tribe of the beanies, right? And so you have, this is what happens, is that you have tribes within tribes within tribes. And for the most part, what I've seen, and my biggest takeaway from this NFT world, is that social connection, that need for a social connection, or that desire to have social connection or tribes or groups is deeply fulfilled by a lot of these NFT projects. And I didn't really see that coming. That was a huge, huge learning experience for me throughout 2021 to see this. And then, of course, we see people like Jay-Z making a CryptoPunk their avatar. And this just shows you that, okay, well, now Jay-Z's joined the club, right? And you're seeing now the social implications now starting to ripple outward. And I do believe that the reasons why people would join or buy a CryptoPunk are really, really different than the reasons that someone would buy a DeFi token. There's a completely different psychology and sort of goals of the investment. And so for that reason, going back to Metcalf's law here, when we're talking about network growth, you're seeing here that someone like Jay-Z, if he posts about, sushi, or if he posts about, Thorchain, is that really going to make people more excited to own sushi or own Thorchain? I don't really think so, because most people would be like, what does Jay-Z know about DeFi? And it would probably not necessarily do that much. Whereas Jay-Z joining the CryptoPunks, I believe, adds quite a bit of value, because people don't need him to be an expert on NFTs to know that, hey, I want to be a part of this exclusive club with Jay-Z. Very interesting stuff here. And I do believe that this is yet another reason why Metcalf's law works better and actually shows more strength for these NFT projects, because non-technicals, normal sort of content creators and musicians, artists, brands can easily bring people in to these assets much more easily. Try to get someone to get excited about a DeFi protocol. Try to get someone off the street to get excited about a DeFi protocol that doesn't know about crypto. They'll think you're crazy. But if you try to get someone to be excited about a cool avatar or a cool piece of art, much easier, right? Being in a club with Jay-Z, much easier, right? So this is why it's quite interesting. Now, punks became all the rage and, one of the best investments, quite frankly, of all time if you got into them early. But that really just sort of set the stage for this next wave. And the next wave was really brought on by Bored Ape Yacht Club. So Bored Ape Yacht Club took the concepts that were found in punks, but kind of brought them into like a little bit more, I guess, of a modern context here. They released just about 90 days ago or so, and they had the idea of literally branding it as a club. It's Bored Ape Yacht Club. And then, what they advertised was more features, right? More roadmap, more value being created by the project. Because Larva Labs, the company behind CryptoPunks, is very passive, and they really don't necessarily promise or have shown that they want to do stuff for the punks by building new software or creating collaborations with brands or anything like that. Whereas Bored Ape Yacht Club, not only did they brand it as a club, and it wasn't very popular at first, but then a lot of NFT heads started hopping on it and collecting it, and then all of a sudden it became hot, right? And it became growing. And apes started following each other, started forming the same kind of camaraderie that you saw with the punks. And so what you have is, apes were much cheaper for a long time. In fact, they started off at 0.08, right? 0.08 Ethereum. And now the floor price for apes is over 8 Ethereum, meaning that it's over 100x. For any asset in the Bored Apes, you're at 100x. Whereas some of these Bored Apes are worth a lot more. And when you go into these discords, and I think the key here to understanding what's going on is to go into the community discords, go into the Bored Ape Discord, go and follow people who are using Bored Apes as their profile pics, and understand how passionate they are about the communities. When you actually talk to people who had bought these apes, they talk about how being in that Discord fulfilled them and they felt like they belonged. They talked about how they're going to use all of their real world skills and talents to create value for other apes. For example, nightclub owners are talking about, hey, any apes will get a discount. Any apes will get some VIP treatment. You have apes getting each other jobs and other types of really interesting sort of, looking out for each other type dynamics. And so this Bored Ape Yacht Club, in many ways, they also have this communal graffiti wall where if you own an ape, you can get access to a certain feature on a site. And I believe that that's really the beginning of a lot of future token-gated opportunities where owning some NFTs gets you access. But then there's also this concept here with apes of owning the intellectual property. Now, this is a bit of a sticking point because Larva Labs hasn't really said anything about owning the IP for your CryptoPunk, whereas apes are very clear that they're allowing their owners of their apes to actually have that intellectual property. So that image is actually the owner, that whoever has the NFT can print derivative works, sell it, and actually make money from it. And so that's a very interesting concept, like I was saying, about decentralizing IP ownership, decentralizing what it means to be an owner of an asset and using the smart contract. So it's very, very, to me, interesting stuff going on here. And apes and their success has grown so wildly popular that NBA players and all kinds of folks of notoriety are now trying to join the apes. But guess what? It's really hard to join the apes. They're they're way more decentralized even than CryptoPunks with over 4,500 owners of a 10K set. So 10,000, we have almost 5,000 owners, meaning there's a little over 2 apes per owner max. And so you can see here that if I love apes, I'm not necessarily looking to sell, right? And that's the thing, is there's just not that many on the market. And the amount of people you would need to grow a community to really put supply pressure on an asset as with as small a supply as 10,000 is not that many, right? Especially if there's people who are really believing that they want to be a part of this club, a part of this group ongoing. So that is the sort of psychological and emotional and contextual backdrop for why I see NFTs kind of thriving right now, is that it is a different type of community. They are enjoying things in a very different way, and it's created, and the success of apes specifically has created, and I'll bring up here apes on OpenSea just so you can see the chart and how crazy the chart is for Bored Apes. But there's a very, very different reason why people invest into these NFTs than the reasons why people invest into DeFi. Now, of course, what's happening right now is that there is a wave right now of excitement around these assets. And what you're seeing here is, let me get my head a little bit lower here. What you can see here is that over the last sort of 90 days or so, apes have gone from an average price of 0.16, that was double the mint price. They came down to, in this dip, 0.5 or whatever. But we've seen that the average price now is trading for 7.6 Ethereum. Up here, it was 8.4. And this is just an incredible, incredible growth. A lot of apes are actually worth a lot more than that, right? So see the incredible volume as well. Some days they're doing $5+ million in sales. And this isn't as easy as trading back and forth fungible tokens. You need a buyer and a seller for each asset. So it's much harder to sort of trade. Now, I also believe that lack of liquidity, that difficulty in trading, leads to less whale manipulation. I think that that's something that I'm seeing, is that the whales can't sort of pump and dump these projects the same way that they can do with fungible tokens that you're seeing on centralized exchanges. And so this has led to a real explosion of projects that have all started to have some pretty insane success. For example, Bored Ape Kennel Club, or I'll just talk about this quickly. Bored Ape Kennel Club was something they gave out to ape holders. You got a Bored Ape Kennel Club, which is a dog, and now Bored Ape Kennel Club, the floor price is 2.1 Ethereum. This was a free drop to every ape holder, and now the cheapest one is 2 Ethereum. So everyone, just by holding a Bored Ape, got minimum 2 Ethereum if you're still holding on to this dog, which is crazy, right? So think about the utility now that they think, okay, well, we have more airdrops coming, right? And then recently, this one, Supdux, which is down a lot on the daily trading volume, exploded. But part of the reason why this is down is it exploded so high. It was trading for like 0.6 right out of the gate, and the mint price, I believe, was 0.08. So 0.6 from 0.08, you're looking at 8x gains overnight. Now, I really do like Supdex. We're going to talk about that in a bit. And then Cool Cats, right? Your floor price is 0.83, and they have 3.3K owners. Again, this one minted for 0.06. So if you have 0.83 as the floor, you're looking at 15x here, so like 14x growth. So a lot of these projects, Fame Lady Squad, the mint price was 0.05. Their floor price is 0.12. So your minimum looking at like a 2.5x here. Meebits, that's a little bit of a different one. But you're seeing here all of these ones: Crypto Hodlers, Ape Gang, Weird Whales. This Weird Whales one was created by a 12-year-old. That's right, a 12-year-old created these. and Gutter Cat Gang, they're all kind of having a crazy amount of success, which has led to a lot of people rushing in and trying to sort of hop on the bandwagon, which is most likely going to create a massive crash in these assets. So it's important to realize that what we're most looking at is potentially the top of this market. And so that's why it's quite risky getting into these. And I never advocate anyone to really go crazy on these, but it is insane the amount of money that's being made in NFTs. And I thought I would take a minute here to really explain why people are buying these beyond just a JPEG that you're hoping you can flip, which is a lot of what's going on. But on its surface, all these projects are trying to emulate the success of Bored Apes. They're trying to emulate the success of CryptoPunks, which created this potentially generational IP here that is very unique and has a position here where Bored Apes did a merch drop. It sold out, and then people were reselling the merch on eBay for like $4,000 for a t-shirt. And they sold the t-shirts for like $20. So if you can create so much demand and scarcity around a brand, then the IP then becomes valuable, and holding those assets then become valuable. And so this is kind of what goes on here is when the community becomes passionate enough, you create the opportunity for sort of upward trajectory on the assets. Now, that said, if you go to rarity.tools and you go to the upcoming section, this is a good way. And by the way, Rarity Tools is a super sick website where you could go through and you could see how rare your assets are. It compares and it shows you the rarest assets in collections, the cheapest assets in collections. And if you're looking for a resource to really help you understand, like, okay, so I'm looking at a Bored Ape. Is this thing rare? Is this thing not rare? How does it rank? Get a sense of like what the asset is. Rarity Tools is a really, really good website for this. Now, if you want to see also what's coming up, which is what a lot of people do now, is what I've been doing a lot. I went in and I minted a bunch of Subducks. I went in, I minted a bunch of Cool Cats. I don't always win on the mints, but I've been doing pretty well on the mints this last couple of weeks because almost everything's been going up. So it's pretty crazy how successful all these projects are. Again, it can't last forever. But right now, it's a very, very interesting experiment that I think is fundamentally appealing to a different type of person. And I hope that this NFT wave, my biggest aspiration is that it brings in new users. Will you please talk about YGG? I don't know what YGG is, so hard to talk about it, but thank you for the super chat. So let's go down here and we can see, I'll point out a couple of projects that I've been looking at. One is this one called, I actually think this is kind of cute, these barn owls. But one that I really like here is, as you can see, there's a ton of these coming up. One of these, where is it? Where is this one? Is it not here anymore? Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so here we have this one called the Vogue Collective. And again, it's hard to say exactly why some of these do better than others. For the most part, if you want to see if one of these is going to do well, you want to go to their social media. You want to go to their, check out their social media. For example, the Vogue has 3K followers, decent, and their Discord has, I'm not sure how many, but you want to go into their socials and then check their Discords and see how excited the community is. Now, what I really liked about this is clearly done. First of all, as you guys know, I'm a massive cyberpunk fan, so this cyberpunky art is just super cool to me. And their generative collection here with these like robot head people, it's very, very cool art. You can tell by the stylized art here and how refined it is that this is a really top art shop. And then even the About Us, you can see how stylized it is. And it's just really high quality, right? I have no connection to this project. I'm not involved with them. I don't know them. I have zero connection. I'm just showing you how I'm reviewing these projects live. And again, guys, I'm not always going to be right about NFTs. I'm just sharing with you like basic tools for even getting in and navigating this world. And I have done pretty well on NFTs over the last few bits. Have had lots of fairly big wins that would have normally been altcoin only, sort of like low cap altcoin type gains, 5, 10x's, very short periods of time. So it's definitely something where you have those gains that are possible. But I'm just showing you why I like this Vogue one. I just absolutely dig the art. I think that it's super well refined. Now, they also have some interesting promises. Their lore that they're doing is interesting. And then, you want to see, for me, what I think is the difference here is figuring out where the utility that people are going to be giving to these assets is. Because at a certain point, once you get cool art and the art's really sick, it's really about that utility. Like they're doing special edition backgrounds. They're doing some other ways to provide utility here. But what I think is actually kind of interesting is when people are using the smart contract itself to create more functionality for the assets, creative burn mechanisms, creative tokenomics management, utility to holders, roadmap promises. One of the interesting things that I've seen is deadheads, right? This is one that I talked about actually before Gary Vee hopped in and talked about it, and then their prices went up. They've come down quite a bit since. But they want to do an animated series where there's voting on what happens via decentralized decision-making, and they want to sort of build a show with decentralized decision-making based on their community. And so they're using their characters, these little 3D characters, to build out an actual piece of content, and then the NFTs will vote on like how this show goes, which is crazy to me. And I think that that's a really smart use of the NFT. Now, does that mean this is going to be successful? I don't know. Who knows? But I do know that whoever's able to connect the dots, and I believe at large, connecting the dots between content and these assets is going to create absolutely huge value. Because if you build IP starting from the NFT and then you build it into things like physical merchandise that becomes popular, video games, of course, that's my number one passion is video games. But I believe that there's a lot of room also for content, whether that be animated content, real world storytelling, whether that be comics. We're seeing other experiments like with Punk's comics. I think content is the big killer application here. And then you're essentially decentralizing IP ownership within this world of content. And so when you see, okay, if you actually own the IP by owning the NFT, and there's plans to do crazy things with the NFT IP, then you could see, all right, well, maybe I'm not just investing into a JPEG. Maybe I'm really investing into an early Genesis set of IP that if this takes off, could be insanely valuable. Imagine if you had some, Simpsons cards or some South Park cards or some, obviously Pokemon cards, yeah, of course. But you understand here how the IP and how it can grow is very interesting because these characters, unlike altcoins, have story, have narrative, have visuals, and have something that can be expanded into a consumer product. And for these people who are consuming the content and making it more popular, they don't have to know or care or remotely be concerned with crypto. And that, to me, is a huge step forward. We need products that people can enjoy without number going up, without having to care or know about tech disruption and blockchain and all these things that are decidedly niche. So understand that this, to me, all these attempts to create IP that could expand, yes, some of them are cash grabs, for sure. In fact, this project is literally called cash grab. So, at least they're owning it, right? But buried in this list are going to be good projects that do actually build communities and grow. And quite frankly, I've been investing into some of these teams. Some of these teams have come to me with, I'm not saying who, because like I said on a previous video, I don't want this to be like, pumping things and making them too hyped. I don't think that that's really what matters. What matters is long-term longevity and utility of these assets. And that, when people find it and they actually want to come to these things for the inherent value, the excitement they get out of it, the community aspect, then they have long-term sustainability. But I have actually invested into, and Superfarm has lent some support, some technical support to several of these projects that I believe are doing something that stands out, that has the ability, like I said, to become IP that grows and expands. And so I'm fascinated with the space, fascinated with the way this is going. And like I said, this is completely experimental. Any of these could go completely to zero, but some of these are going to be the next punks, the next apes, or the next even big, pieces of content or cultural icons. And I believe that, right? I showed a video that I posted to my Twitter on yesterday's video about how Fox is doing an avatar singing competition where people are competing as avatars. And again, owning an identity that's uniquely yours as we sort of slip and slide into the digital future, I believe will have more and more value. So you could see these early attempts at this and these early forays into this as potentially really historic. And for that reason, potentially having value for just being early, right? Remember, art is a mix of, historic meaning as well as the visuals, right? Oh yeah, so there was this story yesterday before I dive into comments as well as the giveaway. There was this story yesterday about a 12-year-old kid coding his own NFT project, and he made 160 grand in a day, and he's 12. and he made 80 ETH. It's just mind blowing, right? It's just mind blowing. So, like, this is the kind of stuff that I could see a new gen getting interested in, the video game audience, the collector's audience. I could just see this stuff appealing to more audiences than just the traditional crypto stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to share this. It's absolutely crazy. And cool, talk about that in a second. We have a really cool artist doing a drop on Superfarm in August. I was going to talk about that at the end. But for now, I'm going to talk a little bit here about subducks. These subducks, as you can see, they have this crazy aesthetic. I'm going to be giving away a couple subducks right here on the channel. That's right. I'm going to be giving them away right here in front of you. And look, as you can see, like they're trading, the lowest ones are trading for, I think like 0.3 or 0.2. Yeah, 0.195. And so, what is this, like $400, 0.195? No. That is, yeah, like $400 anyway. So, or three something. Anyway, that's the cheapest subduck. I think what set these off is really this is the, I guess, 90s nostalgia a bit. It kind of reminds me of like Rocko's Modern Life, a little bit like a Squidward vibe or like a SpongeBob kind of situation. But the art is just I just find the art fun, I think they took the eyes from a few different cartoon characters, famous cartoon characters. But as you can see, this is just kind of goofy, has a lot of emotion. If you click on any of these and you want to know like what am I looking at, it'll show you your properties and it'll tell you here, it has the ash background, 8% have this, overalls on the head, 5% have this, it's anxious, 10% have this, white pebble, whatever. You can see none of these are really too rare, right? Which is why it's sort of sitting around that floor price. But that's how you sort of start to analyze, and you can say, all right, well, what if I wanted something with pants and something else? So you can click on pants and then it'll show you all the ones with pants. And you can start deciding like which one, you want with that variation, with that specific trait. So anyway, so that's a little bit of how you browse these. You got to really get involved with these communities. Sometimes it's not even the rarest traits that get a ton of value. Sometimes it's just the most aesthetic. Like with Bored Apes, there's a lot of apes that have the streetwear caps on and they kind of look like skaters. And they're not even the rarest, but people find them the most aesthetic. So they're really, really high value. So that's kind of what makes these special, and they're good fun. Like I said, I have several here in my portfolio here. I'm going to be giving these bad boys away, right? And you guys can do with them what you want. This is just these are not all my NFTs. These are just some of my NFTs here that I am keeping in my sort of public-facing wallet. I'll start buying a lot more stuff from this wallet. Obviously, again, don't follow any of my decisions because NFTs are crazy and I just buy stuff that I like. In the case of these ducks, I went really hard on them because it hit a nostalgia bone for me, and I guess maybe it hit that for other people. But it was just good fun, right? I have some goats. I have a bunch of cool cats. As you can see, this one is my avatar, and that one is the one I'm using on Twitter because it's got the ape head and the diamond hunter. It's a fairly rare cat. It's got a 1% trait. It's got a 2% trait, a 1% trait, and a less than 1% trait with the gorilla head. So I really like this one. It's one of the rarer cats. I think it's something I want to hold on to for a while, if not indefinitely, just because this is the thing, is it's not all about flipping for me with these assets. I actually enjoy them. So anyway, let's do this. Everyone, start firing off your Ethereum addresses. We're going to start giving away some of these cool cats. I hope that kind of gave you guys curio cards. Yeah, I'll talk about curio cards. So curio cards are officially, I think, the first ever NFT. I'm guessing maybe I need to check whether Etheria or curio cards were the first NFTs. But curios are even older than CryptoPunks. And so who knows, maybe they'll end up catching a wave and people start valuing them. They're way cheaper than CryptoPunks. So maybe they'll start catching a vibe and catching up. My wife is a professional artist who works at LACMA, MAD, a few other museums. Any idea if and how we can sell some of her artwork, digital designs as NFTs? Yeah, I'll do an art-based segment. Super Rare is kind of the default art community for NFTs, but I'll be doing a segment very soon on how we actually, the art world, right? Who are the big artists? How does the art world work? It's its own world, so I kind of wanted to segment it. I can't cover everything in one episode, but I feel like this has been a really good primer on like why CryptoPunks, why Bored Apes, and now why these other collections are catching a steam, and people are all hoping a lot that this could be the next Bored Apes, this could be the next punks, right? Which are, you know, the for lack of a better term, the Bitcoin and the Ethereum of this. So let's go ahead and we will transfer some ducks. That's right. We're going to transfer some ducks. So let's go ahead. Let's hop into the chat here, and let me go ahead and bring this up, and you guys can start firing off. You can start firing off your Ethereum addresses, and we'll start giving these away. Let's start giving these bad boys away. Oh, it's hiding all these. Okay, gosh, it's going so fast now. Okay, whoa. All right. All right, I'm just going to pick one at random here. Wow, the chat's going so fast. All right, Michael O. Driscoll, it's you. I'm going to go ahead and show that message. It's hiding all of these addresses in the chat right now because I guess YouTube automatically hides addresses. But as you can see, I just randomly picked one, Michael O. Driscoll. If you guys are enjoying this, if you enjoy me giving away thousands of dollars in JPEGs just to get you guys understanding and just a taste of what's going on here, then go do me a favor, smash that like button. It's a free and easy way to give me a little bit of love back here. So let's go ahead and take this. Michael O'Driscoll, let me double check it. 0x9e 2e, 0x9e 2e, and e3d6. Let's go ahead and make that transfer. Do it fast. I'm giving you the fast treatment here. All right, brother, let's check out that duck that you just got transferred. Michael O'Driscoll, the proud new owner of a What's Up duck. Let's just see. Wait for a second here for this to complete, obviously, and then we'll do it again. Transfer has started. Wow, much excite. So let's check this guy out. First of all, sick hairdo, sick gradient in the back. Look at those eyes. Look at that gold chain. Amazing. Sick duck. So what we see, the rarest trait here is the gold chain. And so, you know, what you can see here is you can browse here and you can click on it and you can say, all right, well, what are other gold chains kind of going for? And you're like, oh, wow, okay, I see my gold chain gang here. And then you can start seeing which ones are going for more or less and understanding why. You know, if you see a buy now, or even a better way to do this is to go to subducks, and you can go to recent sales activity. And you can see sales, and I can see here, you know, a minute ago, we saw one sell for 2.62 Ethereum, right? So this was 1 minute ago, literally hot off the presses. And you can see that this one just sold for 2.6 ETH, which in layman's terms, that's over $5,000 for this JPEG. You can see, why would that be the case? Well, let's see. Well, they've got the doo-doo brain, which is less than 1%, 0.97%. They've got the spitter, which is 0.25%. So they have two traits under 1% traits. And then that's pretty much it. Those are the two traits that give it a lot of value here. So just giving you a sense of like how you can start understanding like why one might be worth more than the other, right? Anyway, you guys don't care. You guys just wanting me to give away more subducks. That's right. That's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page so you can see that my Leo NF Trades wallet has one less subduck. That's right. We really giving these away. Okay, let's do this again. You guys ready? We're going to go ahead and give away some more subducks. Fire away. I'm going to pick all new addresses starting in 5, 4, 3. Actually, here, I'll do this. I'll bring it over so you guys can see this. So you guys can see me actually selecting this live. And here we go. I'm just going to pick one in 5, 4, 3, 2. And here we go. I assume that this was it. Waku. I assume that this is what you meant to say and that this was you saying please. Let's go ahead. We never won anything. Well, today, Waku, you just won, brother. A subduck. let's go back here and give it away. Guys, if this is fun for you, go ahead. Just throw me a little like in the chat. It's all I want. It's all I've ever wanted. And Mr. Waku, you're going to get eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catcha. You'll get this guy. Okay. Now let's look at this wonderful subduck that you'll be getting. Let's just look at what the gentleman has won. And we get ourselves subduck 1103, a 6% trait, a 5% trait, and a 4% trait. That's right. You're a proud new owner of the poncho duck, the spectrum skin, and the bucket hat. Praise be. Congratulations. Let's go ahead and transfer this to you. All right. And here we go. Let me double check that address. Let me double check that address. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to like assume that that was right. So many things coming in. All right, this is what happens when you ask 2,000 people to start spamming Ethereum addresses. Oh, gosh. Okay. I literally never ending scroll right now. All right, guys, let me see. Maybe I can rewind the chat here and just see. Yeah, there we go. I'll C198F. Make sure that's right. C198F. There we go. And let's transfer it up. And we're giving you the fast gas because we're not here to skimp on gas. We're here to get you these ducks ASAP. ASAP. I want to buy NFTs. Is Metamask safe? I'm using Metamask right now. Metamask is great. You just got to store your keys in a safe place. That's what you got to do. And understand you don't want to keep too much on a MetaMask. You want to keep, I keep more on, there's various ways to self-custody, guys. I'll do an episode on self-custodying. If you guys want an episode on self-custody and how to store bigger and bigger amounts of crypto, let me know in the comments and I'll definitely get to that. Here we go. We're transferring a subduck right in front of your guys' eyes. This is a duck getting adopted, getting rehomed to a loving and caring owner who will probably flip them for 0.3 Ethereum. All right, guys. You realize that this means that we have 2 more ducks left to give out. On the first inaugural non-fungible Tuesday, we are, what the heck? Get rid of one of these ducks. That's right. We have 2 more ducks left. We're going to give away this guy first. This guy over here, he's smiling. He's got the goober cheeks. And then we're going to give away Underpants Head as the big grand finale here. Maybe we'll do some cool cats in the future. I'm pretty attached to my cool cats emotionally, as well as my Galaxy Kennel Dog. I have some apes and punks on a different account. But yeah, so like I said, I have like 40 subducks. So that's why I'm giving these away. And genuinely, as dumb as it is or whatever, I feel attachment to my characters when I get them. It's really fun when you own them. Anyway, so if you're having fun, you can't lose. That's rule number 1. Subduck number 1294. Enough yakking, enough yapping. Just give me a subduck, right? All right, we got a 3% trait here. That's right, the want. And if you guys want to know what the want is, we'll click on it so you can see this. And I believe that's the cheek. Is that the cheek, the want? Yeah, it looks like it's the cheek. Okay, cool. So the cheek is the want. That's what stuck out to me. And I love the haircut. Anyway, let's go ahead. We'll do this one more time. Hopping back in here, and we will go ahead and we will give away yet another subduck. Go ahead, spam those addresses. Spam them up. Let's do this. Oh, there we go. And I will be picking one in 5, 4, 3, 2, and Petar J. There you are, ending in 50048. You are about to be the proud new owner, Petar, of a subduck, a very, very cool want subduck. That's right. He's all yours. Ending in 50048. And let's go ahead and transfer. And we will use the fast gas because we're cool like that. I realize you guys aren't seeing my MetaMask pop up, but I'm using fast gas because I'm a nice guy like that. I want you guys to get these ASAP. Same block. All right. as this transfers, once again, I just want to say thank you guys. I hope you guys are having fun. NFTs are meant to be fun. I think that fun is one of the most underrated use cases for anything. That's why games work, because they're fun and people want to have fun. Dopamine, don't ever underestimate rather the power of some good dopamine. All right, final giveaway here for the Subducks. That's right. Once this transfer completes, we will get one final Subduck giveaway, and this will conclude our first inaugural Non-Fungible Tuesdays. We'll have one little piece of Super Farm news, as well as I'll do a little brief update here. Okay, here we go. Transaction has started. Let's get back to the portfolio here. Let's get back to this. Let's refresh this. As you can see, that last Subduck is gone. And we will now move on. Everyone congratulate Paytar, congratulate Waku, and I forgot who the last winner is. And here we go. The chat is rolling. We go. Oh, the chat is really rolling. Ooh, we're getting spammed messages. That's right. People really want to win this. We're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna pick a number 1 through 10. 7, good number. 1. 2, we'll count down actually. Who counts up? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we go. Cup. Mr. Cup. That's right. The lucky winner is the Cup himself. Let's hop back in here. Let's go ahead and transfer this fine duck to his new home. All right. Let's make sure this is right. Ends in 690. Ends in 690. Go ahead and transfer. Fast gas. I've got receipts. All right, guys, there it is. Congratulations to everyone. I hope you guys had fun. Again, NFTs are fun. That's what we're here to do, is to have as much fun as absolutely possible. And I sincerely hope that this was good for you guys. We'll be doing this again, giving away some cool JPEGs, some cool NFTs, and talking about, what I think of as what's going on with this and why this might seem like a toy, might seem silly, but I think that there might be some bigger actual lessons to be learned, and that this format of the 10K project is going to keep going and going and going, whether it's 10K or 100K or a million or 1K. The concept of a generative avatar project that has a whole sort of species and world and actually serves as a basis of IP is something that I think is going to be massive. And I think it's going to create the most important thing, which is network growth. Network growth is what we need, and we need it with real products that are not tied to Bitcoin. That's how we continue to grow, bear or bull, and that's how we take the harsh edge off of these cycles. That's my particular belief, and as I've showed you guys, I've been talking about NFTs for literally years, and so yeah, this is something I've believed in for a long time. Again, big warning that is super speculative, but these avatar projects are really popping right now, and a lot of these continue to make a lot of gains and a lot of growth. Like I said, I've invested into some, and Superfarm is lending some resources to help a few get off the road or off the starting block, and that's because we see a huge opportunity for some of these to potentially blossom into really big IP. I wanted to shine a quick light on this. This is an artist, Khatun, who is a really, really sick artist, I believe from Malaysia. And they did album art and stuff for Chris Brown back in the day, as well as some other artists. They're doing a really sick drop coming up in August on Superfarm, where they'll actually be doing a physical delivery of a piece of art. So you'll get a limited edition piece of art as well as the NFT, and it's going to be super cool. So if you guys like art, definitely check that out. Again, if you guys don't know anything about art like me, I'm not really much of an art guy. I just think things are cool or whatever. Then maybe you observe from afar, right? I'm just trying to give you guys a little update here as to some of the things going on. Showing you that it's not, we have the games coming for Superfarm. We have the marketplace and social features. Obviously, there's a lot of farming partners that are about to get loaded up as well. But there's also this really interesting movement for art and collectibles, and we're trying to be an ecosystem that provides a home and provides a very welcoming home to all different creators in the NFT space. Really cool stuff. So there it is. I'll hop into the chat for just a few more minutes here. Am I going to do the Ghostbusters drop on Vive? I'll check it out. I wasn't aware. I wasn't following. Thanks for the super chat, buddies. Thanks, E. You're welcome, Stephen Thomas. Appreciate the super chat. I hope you guys had a good time doing this. I hope you guys enjoyed the first Non-Fungible Tuesdays. I know I had a freaking blast. Let's do some more stuff like this. Leave your comments in the comment section below about how you want this to evolve. We're going to be bringing on some folks who have created big products in NFTs. We're going to be bringing on curators and collectors. We're going to be bringing on people who are living life as their avatars, because I'm really fascinated with what's going on here in NFT land, and I want this to become the go-to resource, the absolute definitive resource for NFT knowledge and content in the world. Call it NFTV, if you will. That's it. That's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Elio Trades here. You can find me on Twitter at Elio Trades. If you guys got value out of this video, if you enjoyed it, do me a favor, destroy that like button, obliterate it. Congratulations again to all the Sup Duck owners, the future duck fathers and mothers out there. There will be more cool projects and be a lot more content, giveaways, and everything like that. Hope you guys are having a great day, happy and healthy wherever you are. That's it for me. See you very soon on the next episode. Thanks again for watching.